afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's event, Reactivating U.S.-Japan Relations in a Changing Asia, sponsored by the Fletcher School of Law and Diplomacy, K&L Gates, and the U.S.-Japan Research Institute. My name is Susan Simone, and I'm the Program Director of the Masters of Law program at the Fletcher School of Law and Diplomacy. Our conference today is entitled Leadership and Partnership Between the U.S. and Japan in Managing Legal and Political Risk in the Asia-Pacific region. We will have opening remarks, followed by an introduction, and two panels. After our two panels, we will have a reception entitled Facilitating Human Resource Exchanges Between the United States and Japan, in which we will have opening remarks from His Excellency Ichiro Fujizaki and Ambassador Stephen Bosworth, together with special remarks from our guests. I would like to thank Thomas Holt of K&L Gates, our principal coordinator for this event. Thank you. I would now like to introduce the speakers for our opening remarks today. Our opening remarks today will be led by Professor Katsuhiko Shirai, the chair of the U.S.-Japan Research Institute and the former president of Waseda University. He will then be followed by Professor Joel Trackman, professor of international law at the Fletcher School of Law and Diplomacy and director of the Hitachi Center. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's seminar on reactivating U.S.-Japan relations in a changing Asia. Before all else, I want to acknowledge our hosts, the partners of K&L Gates, and their co-organizers at the Fletcher School of Law and Diplomacy. Everyone here, I'm sure, knows that K&L Gates is a major world player in corporate and market transactions. What you may not know is that the firm ranked #1 in performance during this tough recession we have been through. So we are all ears today to its views on risks and strategies. The Fletcher School, meanwhile, from its very start, nearly 80 years ago, has held to the belief that solving problems in the international arena requiring making connections, connecting people, connecting experts, connecting different disciplines, connecting business with governments and NGOs. Making connections of that kind, of course, is precisely what the USJI is all about. So in thanking K&L and Fletcher for their work here today, I express a sincere hope that they remain our partners in the future. The U.S.-Japan Research Institute is an offspring of change. Our two nations share a complex past, and we will, no doubt, share a complex future. But nothing is more real than the large, amorphous, insistent challenges we face in common at present. A decade or so ago, the US and Japan were the face of modernity. Together, we dominated the world, economically produced most of its novelties and innovations, materially and socially alike, and held out to the world our laws and institutions as models of a free open, and prosperous society. We still do today, but with nuance and some hesitation, and with a constant awareness that we have create as well as solved problems, and that many more actors, beginning of course with a reawakened China, and now on the world stage with us. What does this mean to the world? And what does it mean for our own relations? That is a question this conference is asking. In meeting this past year, the USJI has explored our nation's bilateral security treaty, our changing economic circumstances, and shifting alliance within Asia. With each passing meeting, we gain confidence and we gain presence. Our stature has grown among peer institutions. Our profile has increased in the media, and our influence has been felt, at least in Japan, in the halls of government. What we say counts, and the positions we take, and the policies we propose and seriously consider. For this, I thank all of you here, as well as many elsewhere who participates in our work. I encourage you to continue probing all issues candidly, directly, and as a major American newspaper says, with its own work, without fear or favor. That, in end, is our best contribution to the world. Welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shirai Sensei. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's my honor to help to begin this conference on the question of reactivating U.S.-Japan relationships in a changing Asia, and leadership and partnership between the United States and Japan in managing legal and political risk in the Asia-Pacific region. We'll have a panel on the macro, the state perspective, and a panel on the micro or firm perspective. And we hope to be able to describe this question of the close partnership that the United States and Japan can have as leaders in the economic and political sphere. These are two leading economies with many interests and many concerns and many perspectives in common, a common vision of the world. And that common vision needs to be shared and explained to the other leading economies in the world, the EU, China, India, Brazil, South Africa, etc. Because there are new global challenges that we face together in terms of the financial crisis, global warming, completing the Doha round, weapons proliferation, global public health, democratic change in places like Egypt, and terrorism. And to meet these challenges, we will have to address them and understand them and link together the macro perspective and the firm level perspective, and also have, from my personal viewpoint, the role of academics and of universities in preparing students and in illuminating some of the cooperation problems and some of the techniques of solving those problems. So at the macro level, we'll have discussions of trade, security, regional policy, trying to understand how states can, how Japan and the United States and other states can develop a mutual understanding through governmental contacts and through education, recognizing differences, but learning how to cooperate to address these important problems. and also recognizing the need for reciprocal sacrifice and leadership in order to address these problems. At the firm level, we also need leadership. This will be the subject of our second panel today. The rise of global business operations and intra-industry trade, the internationalization of supply chains create both problems and opportunities for greater development of contacts, greater cooperation, and greater challenges at the governmental level. There's room for strategic partnerships at the firm level and room for strategic partnerships at the governmental level as well. And I hope that we will have some ideas today about meeting these challenges through coordination of the macro level and the firm level, and through education to enhance mutual understanding, to study the nature of these challenges, and to study opportunities for overcoming these challenges. I want to close by thanking you, the participants, thanking the U.S.-Japan Institute and its member universities. We're honored to work with them. And especially to thank our hosts, K&L Gates and Professor Holt. And now it's my honor to introduce Tom Holt.